It's a brand new week and a brand new top 10. Much like change coming to College Station with Jimbo Fisher being shown the door, there's change in my top 10 rankings. So, who's trending upward going into week 12? Who's trending down? Let's talk about it. If you're brand new here, welcome on into the channel. My name is Cole Thompson. I'm a radio show host based in Houston, and I talk college football daily. I talk NFL, MLB, NHL, NBA, but I love talking college football. And if this is the type of content you enjoy, this is the channel made for you. So hit the subscribe button down below. Leave a comment telling me your thoughts on the top 10. Who do you think stands out most going into the final 2 weeks of the regular season? Hit the subscribe button. Tell everybody about this channel. And as always, let's continue to talk college football. 4 honorable mentions this week. I can't give you 5 because if I only think that there's 4 teams really worthy of discussing outside the top 10. First up, Penn State. Penn State's a good team. They're not a great one. That's the bottom line. Whether or not we agree that Drew Aller is the long-term solution at quarterback, whether or not we agree that they need to make changes with the offensive coordinator, this is a team that has the capability of being middle tier in terms of powerhouse programs. They're always going to be in the running to be 10-2. They're always going to have a schedule that bodes well in their favor. They're always going to be mentioned as a New Year's Six team. But that's kind of where we draw the line, at least with the way that they've been playing as of now. And it doesn't seem like it's changing anytime soon. Next up, Ole Miss. Ole Miss is a fine team, but it's just like Penn State. We know that there are limitations in Oxford. We know that there are going to be stipulations that hold back a program like Ole Miss when it comes to recruiting because of who you're going up against. And last night was a testament to show you there is a giant drop-off between a team like Georgia and a team like Ole Miss. Now, Ole Miss is still a very fun team. They're going to have a shot to finish the year 10-2. That would be the second time in program history that they finished with 10 regular season wins, both coming underneath Lane Kiffin. But Kiffin's going to have some opportunities to look at this offseason, potentially the one in College Station, where recruiting is at an all-time high, where funds and resources continue to grow, and more specifically, championship aspirations are expected, not just kind of playing out of willy-nilly. So be on the lookout if you are a Lane Kiffin fan, because that might be the end of an era in Oxford and one that I don't think Rebels are ready to see. Next up, Oregon State. I love this Oregon State team. I think Jonathan Smith right now is fighting his way into Coach of the Year. I believe that he is absolutely putting on a clinic, and there is a reason for optimism if you are a Beavers fan going into the final 2 games of the regular season. They're playing sound football. They look like a dynamic team when it comes to running the ball with Damian Martinez. Defensively, they are upticking everybody. And this is going to be a game next week that I think a lot of people are circling on their calendars because Washington is good, but Oregon State is not bad either. And lastly, by the way, this is not in any order. This is just me ranking the honorable mentions. Oklahoma. Great rebounding performance. This is the game that you need to hold your hat on to because this is one to where if you are a Brett Venables hater, he basically told you to shove it. This was a great execution by Jeff Lebby, by the offense, by Dylan Gabriel. 8 freaking touchdowns on the day. Jesus, who's doing that kind of stuff? Jaden Daniels, but that's a discussion for another day. Oklahoma still controls its own pathway to Arlington. There is a shot that potentially they get the upset win over a Texas, and maybe we are talking about them being the Big 12 champion one more time. Number 10, Missouri. I might be the only person in the country that's going to list Missouri as number 10 and not an honorable mention. This is a team that's fun. This is a team that means business, and Eli Drinkwitz is the ultimate troll. The fact that you called a timeout to ice the kicker up by 20 plus is hysterical. But what's more so impressive is how this team has found a way to win games and basically show the rest of college football we're not Georgia, but holy crap, we're the only team that's going to give them a run for the money in the SEC East. Brady Cook, phenomenal year. The fact that Cody Schrader is not being mentioned enough. The fact he was a D2 player is baffling to me. Over 200 rushing yards, over 300 yards on the day. Defensively, once again, they're playing exceptional football. And maybe it's kind of a testament that Tennessee is dog crap on the road. But at the same time, Missouri deserves a lot more recognition. They have 2 losses. One to the most explosive offense in college football in LSU. And one to a 2-time defending national champion. And that's it. They still are a team that is in the running to make it to a New Year's Six bowl bid, and they're a team that deserves a lot more respect at the national level. 9, Louisville. Every team out from here is 1 loss or fewer. Louisville is a good team. I don't think that they're a great team. I think that they have played well at times this year. The Notre Dame game is probably the perfect pinnacle of what Louisville is. They're great when it comes to showing up on the main stage, but when they play lesser competition, there are some scares. The Pitt game was absolutely one. You got dismantled. This game against Virginia, it was horrifying. You got to win. Good for you. But there's reasons to say, well, why can't you just play sound football every week? Now, good news. They ran the football, averaged 5.8 yards per play. They have 2 really good running backs in Jawar Jordan and Isaac Arenado. The other thing is that their defense is playing up to par for most of the time. And if they run the table, there still is a shot for them to make the college football playoff. I personally don't see it, but I do think that we have to give a lot of credit to what Louisville's done in year 1 underneath Jeff Brom. They're a sound team. They're fundamentally not that flawed, and they have an identity that works for them. So give them the credit where credit's due. 8, Texas. Goddamn, Texas. Figure it the hell out. What do you want to be? I'm sorry. Texas fans have every reason to be vitriously upset. Now, the good news is you're running the show and you're still finding ways to win. But once again, lesser competition, lesser opponent, yet here we are in the 4th quarter, nearly seeing you blow it. That's Texas. And I get it. Head-to-heads matter. Well, no, they don't right now. Because even though I am one to believe that when it comes to the rankings, you are going to give the nod to the head-to-head, I can't justifiably say Texas is a better team than Oregon. I can't say they're a better team than Alabama. Once again, here comes the 4th quarter, and you allow a lesser opponent to hang around far too long. And Quinn Ewers, yeah, he was fine. Wasn't anything great. Jonathan Brooks, best of luck to him. I hope that he comes back healthy, but it doesn't sound promising. And Adonai Mitchell, can we just go ahead and call it what it is? This is the best receiver that Texas has. Xavier Worthy's amazing. I think that Jatavion Sanders is a solid tight end, and Jordan Whittington's been a great slot receiver. But Adonai Mitchell has been a superstar. He's working his way into first-round conversation. Every Texas fan this morning is probably sitting on pins and needles and need to have a couple of shots of espresso to wake up and just beg themselves, please don't mess this up. You still have a shot at making the college football playoff, but the margin of error is getting less and less every single week. And I'll tell you this much. Iowa State's going to give you some problems, so you better be on your bells and whistles. Matt Campbell's looking to go back to Arlington, and he certainly is looking to send you out back into the SEC with another loss. 7, Alabama. I will say right now, Oregon and Alabama basically are the exact same team. They're playing exceptional football. They have faced off against quality competition. They've done their job, but I just think Alabama at 7 right now makes a little more sense because, again, the head-to-head matchups, and then also the defense, albeit was great yesterday against Kentucky. I think that there's still a reason for some self-doubt. Not a lot, but it doesn't really matter when you have a quarterback like Jalen Milroe. Milroe in the last 2 games has 10 touchdowns. He has a completion percentage of over 71%. He has 2 interceptions. He's utilized his legs to no one's business. He's averaging over 10 yards per throw. And the offense is catering to his strengths. That's what this really comes down to. So a huge testament to what he's done, a huge testament to what the defense has done. And a lot of credit goes to the resurgence and the adaptability of Nick Saban, Tommy Rees, and Kevin Steele. This is a team that's playing fundamentally sound. This is a team that isn't allowing many mental mistakes. And they're playing as a unit, which is a big, big deal if you're really going to be honest with yourself. Number 6, Oregon. Oregon, in my opinion, has potentially the Heisman Trophy winner in Bo Nix. They have a great rushing attack led by Bucky Irving. They have 2 exceptional wide receivers in Troy Franklin and Tez Johnson. They have a great defensive line. They are able to add pressure into the backfield. And last night, outside of really that 4th quarter, they dismantled Caleb Williams for 3 quarters straight in Autzen Stadium. Dan Lanning is going to be considered a hot name at Texas A&M. He should be, because of this is a coach that has earned his right. He has earned his stripes. he has basically taken Oregon to the brink of now legitimate conversations of being the best team in college football. And if they continue to do what they're doing, they are going to have a shot of making it to the Pac-12 title game and maybe even the national championship. It would not shock me to see both Washington and Oregon make the college football playoff. And it really would not shock me to see Oregon walk away with a 10-point victory over Washington if they get on the ball rolling in Las Vegas early. 5, Florida State. This, in my opinion, is the worst of the Power 5 undefeated teams. Not because of I don't think that they're bad. I think that they're so well coached that they kind of mitigate the flaws. Mike Norvell deserves a ton of credit because that team should have lost at least 3 games this year. But they didn't because of exceptional coaching. And give credit where credit's due. Keon Coleman back in action. He got a touchdown. Give credit where credit's due. Trey Benson still able to utilize his legs, move the sticks. But you're going down to the wire with the Miami team that was playing its other quarterback because they didn't have trust in Tyler Van Dyke, and it's only a 7-point win. That is slightly concerning in my opinion. That's all I will say. I'm not saying that it is terrible. What I am saying is that it's concerning, and it should be concerning. I think when you look at a team like Florida State, they have a shot of running the table because of who they have left on their schedule. Florida is the only major game left in the regular season, and they probably have a better opponent matchup when it comes to facing off against Louisville. So if they're undefeated, they're going to the CFP. But at the end of the day, I look at this Florida State team. You have to start playing more efficiently early because if you don't, another team is going to beat up on you and you're not going to come back. 4, Washington. I was having a heart attack with this game. I'm not going to lie. You look at Michael Penix Jr., very solid day. He threw for over, if I'm not mistaken, what was it? 310 yards, something like that. 332 yards. 2 touchdown passes. He ran in a touchdown. I'm going to give a lot of credit to the Huskies. They finally are utilizing the ground game when inside the red zone. Dylan Johnson with over 100 rushing yards and another score. Defensively, what the hell are you doing, man? That game was over. That game was over with the pick 6. And then you drop it at the 2-yard line. It's not even the 1-yard line. It'd be one thing if you're at the fucking 1. You're at the 2. Get the ball in and then throw it into the stands. That was a game that was too close for comfort. The block field goal at the end shows a testament to that defense led by Kyle Whittingham. And thankfully, you did get a turnover. Big interception by Bryson Barnes that secured the dub. You're 10-0. Kalen DeBoer is one of the hottest coaching names on the market, potentially, even though they are going to the Big Ten. And there is a very good shot. All you need is one more win and you punch your ticket to the likes of Las Vegas. And that's going to happen, whether it be against Washington State or Oregon State. But wouldn't it be nice to be undefeated and go into a winner-take-all scenario? I think so. 3, Michigan. And this is where it gets really challenging for me because Michigan didn't have its head coach. They did not have an excellent offensive game plan when it came to passing the football. They had 8 passing attempts total. I think it was 9 if you include the one that was eventually called back, but that's not the point here. J.J. McCarthy didn't have a perfect day, and they still won by nearly 10 points against Penn State. That to me is scary. They didn't have their head coach. They had a sound defensive performance, and they basically just said, we're going to go ahead and channel our inner Jim Harbaugh and run the football to oblivion until you make us stop. And Penn State couldn't do that. They did a good job of forcing a couple of 3-and-outs. They did a good job of keeping plays limited, but eventually you watch as this Penn State defensive line got tired, they got exacerbated, and then slowly but surely, boom, Blake Corum, 30-yard touchdown run. Boom, Donovan Edwards, 22-yard touchdown run. And here's the crazy part. It wasn't a perfect performance from Michigan's offense, but here's what is good. You know what J.J. McCarthy can do. You know what Roman Wilson can be, what Cornelius Johnson can be, what Colson Loveland can be across the middle. And as long as your defense is playing this sound, you have a shot where all you need is one big pass downfield to be able to set yourself up inside the red zone for an easy 6. This is a Michigan team that I think will be 11-0 going into the final week. And it is a winner-take-all for the likes of the Big Ten. It's Ohio State or it's Michigan. They completely showed that on Saturday. 2, Ohio State. Marvin Harrison Jr. is a freaking stud. There's really no reason why he should ever play another down of college football unless he's winning a national title. Kyle McCord had a decent day. I thought the defense played exceptionally well against a Michigan State team that's going through turmoil and tragedy. I thought the run game was fine. This is a team that you know can mean business. And if you allow them to start picking up steam next week, already the team that they have, it's very challenging to say that they're going to be beaten 38-3 win. Overall solid day. You didn't need much from their offense. You had 3 passing touchdowns. You had 1 rushing touchdown from Travion Henderson. Continue to do that. I think you're fine. But number 1 for me is Georgia. And it's not because if you beat Lane Kiffin into oblivion. It's not because you knocked out Jackson Dart. It's because look at that. Your offense didn't miss a beat without Brock Bowers, and it didn't miss a beat with Brock Bowers. You're fundamentally about as clean cut as you could want. Carson Beck is not going to be a Heisman Trophy winner. He should at least be a finalist the way he's been playing. Yeah, he had an interception right before halftime. That was a bad call by Dominic Lovett to watch that ball leave his hands. Like, that's what happened. It wasn't a terrible throw. And he still threw for over 300 yards. Defensively, outside of the opening series and outside of the other touchdown to Quinshon Judkins, this was a bully beatdown type of game. You got Jackson Dart out. He had only 112 yards. The rushing attack averaged 4 yards per play, but you also have to realize 3 of those came on massive runs of at least 20 yards or more. So that was another big deal. And you basically made this offense one-dimensional to where they had to punt, where they had to use every chicken of the book, and it didn't matter. Carson Beck found, Brock Bowers, Ladd McConkey, Ra Thomas, Dominic Lovett, Marquise Rosemary Jasaint, Dejon Edwards, Kunda Milton, Oscar Delp, Lawson Lucky, 9 receivers for at least 1 reception of at least 7 yards. That's what he did. They don't look beatable. Alabama, I think, has a shot because of its Alabama. I don't know whoever was going to play them. Outside of that, it's probably Georgia's to lose. So there you have it. Those are my top 10 teams this week. I think that every single one of them has a shot of somehow sticking into the CFP, even Louisville. But just to recap, number 1, Georgia, number 2, Ohio State, number 3, Michigan, number 4, Washington, number 5, Florida State, number 6, Oregon, number 7, Alabama. You can honestly flip and switch those two. Number 8, Texas, number 9, Louisville, and number 10, give them credit where credit's due, the Zoo, Mizzou. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching that video. Don't hit the X button yet. Make sure you hit subscribe to keep up with all of our daily content found on Just Saying It and anything else that we post on this channel. Bye.